Anyway, reviewing today Diplomatico 2005. This is a single vintage rum finished in sherry casks. So, for the anniversary, big thing. We know this economy absolutely sucks. Everything has gotten so expensive. So, I definitely want to give away a sample of this rum. So, put a comment down below if you want to be entered. Obviously, if you're my subscriber, you're automatically entered. But if you put a comment down below, you're going to get extra entries. So go ahead and put those little comments. Put if you would actually buy this bottle. I think if I'm not mistaken, I spent like $110 on this one. So not too bad. Hi Sean, thanks for tuning in. I'm doing a live review and countdown to my channel's anniversary. So I'm doing the Diplomatico 2005. As I talked about it during Rum News, they were talking about the 2007 being the most one of the great sippable rums. And then as far as information in here, it says that it's crafted from in an exceptional way, drawing the interest of the maestro roneros, which is the masters of rum. For the distinctive character, the special liquid is separated from the rest of the reserves for its uniqueness to be shared with rum enthusiasts. Distilled in vintage copper pot, stills in the year indicated on the label. So that's 2005 for this one. And then it says it's aged in bourbon and single malt whiskey cask for 12 years. I am absolutely so excited to try this. Then, after the aging process, the maestro roneros carefully blend the rum in order to obtain the structure, body, personality, flavors, and aromas that they are looking for. Finally, the rum spends a year in Spanish sherry casks to provide the perfect finish. Now, I am kind of a little bit over the finishes, and if I have to be fully transparent, as far as sherry and port, but I'm really excited to try this. Sean, I saw your comments. If you haven't tried Diplomatico, I personally don't like their entry level rum. I'm not a big fan of their entry level rum. There is something about their entry level rum that gives me like a chemically taste. Now, mind you, this was before they got bought out. And but at the Miami Rum Congress, I did challenge the brand representatives, and they were so kind and were like, "Oh, you don't like us? Well, try this." And then they gave me a vintage, and I absolutely loved it. So when I saw this, and I'm not saying it's cheap, trust me, I'm not saying $110 is cheap, but look at the presentation. So it comes in a box. Look at this ridiculous topper to go in there. As you can see, it's a beautiful bottle. Even if you put this anywhere on your bar, or if you have like Phil, for example, he puts all his favorite bottles on top of his kegerator. Wouldn't this display so nice? And I don't know if you missed it, Sean, but I did show the inside of the box. I know it does look awesome. It has this beautiful blue velvet. So this is the box it comes in. So if you want to get real fancy with it, you can actually display it in the box too, which I actually might. We'll see, depending on space. So I'm actually gonna crack this puppy open. Very cool thing, it has a little D here, which is really interesting. If you can see here. And it's kind of like a champagne bottle is forcing me to like twist it off. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and let you enjoy the our most favorite sound, which is a cork coming off. So happy Friday, everybody. Our official anniversary is December 5th, but figured I would go ahead and do a couple of extra special live reviews. So make sure you hit that subscribe button if you've never seen me before. I'm Nia with My Rum Diaries. I'm a master rummelier, but I feel like I still don't know shit and still absolutely love learning about rum. So definitely follow me on my crazy adventures. We officially, by the way, as of yesterday, booked our Martinique trip. Yes, crew members, if you're here, I will have some amazing footage coming up April of next year. Oh my god, might need to tap in some help for this one. This is hard. By the way, it goes all around the cork. You see, this is why I'm having the struggles is real. I might have to call in for Phil. Phil! So, it's been a long week, but super excited to celebrate. Uh, by the way, if you're not familiar with Diplomatico, they are a Venezuelan rum. And if you're not familiar with Venezuelan rum, they're very particular. They literally have kind of like a GI, which is it can only be called uh rum from Venezuela if it's made a specific way. And I actually think I'm gonna go get the Modern Caribbean book because I really want to read that real quick. So I know exactly. Oh, and get a scissors because this is impossible. I'm probably gonna break my hand before I do this. I'll be right back. Okay, should have thought of this before I went live. Hello, hello. Sorry, whoever the second person is that I missed that came in shortly. So if you're not familiar with Modern Caribbean book by Matt Petrick, he literally has every single country that has a GI and talks about exactly how it is. So today is the last day to scoop this up with a 10% discount if you go to Rumwonk or to Wonk Press. He's giving 10% off for the holidays, which is really nice. So, if you're not familiar with Venezuela, like I was saying, they have their own GI, which means for them to be called a Venezuelan rum, it has to be aged in a specific way. So, I'm turning to that page. And by the way, this is not a cheap book, but amazing for a rum enthusiast if you want to learn a lot of stuff. And as a reminder, I am giving a sample away of this rum. I have to figure out because I haven't looked at my containers, but I believe it's a 4-ounce sample. So if you're like me, you can make a cocktail and sip and eat to do both. So I hope you enjoy. As a crew member, aka subscribers only, you're automatically entered. So if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And then for extra entries, put on comments down below. So this is like an 800-page book, which is freaking crazy, but I absolutely love it. Now, here specifically, it talks about Spanish style rums. Let me see. Oh, so Diplomatico. Um, the type of distilling that they use is continuous batch. The source material is molasses cane syrup, and the estimated amount of rum that they put out is actually 24 million. They were founded in 1959, which is incredible. This is how old this is. Again, I am not a huge fan of their basic rums, but this one, for the price point, I said, you know what? Let me just give it a try. So, I don't know if you can see, or actually, let me pull up this big old book. Look at how amazing. This is how incredible this book is. You see pictures of the distilleries taken by Matt Petrick himself. Look at the beautiful pots. And as you know, I love big pots and I cannot lie. Kind of like the song. but I do, man. They deliver so much flavorings in the rums. That's why I love them so much. But those are the pots um at Diplomatico. So the other cool thing is says that they make three styles of distillates from those pots. They make heavy body pot, medium bodied batch kettle, and light body continuous. And then let me see here. They do use local molasses from Venezuela, so they're not importing anything, which is amazing, and which is why Venezuelan rums are so incredible, and they're able to do this GI, which basically certifies that they're a specific rum from Venezuela. And this is what the batch kettle and pot still looks all together, so you can see, which is very interesting. I had never seen this type of pot. Look at this. So these are the typical pots that we've seen before, and look at this kettle. That's very interesting. You see how it lays on the side? It's really interesting because this is how they distill their rum. Now, I don't know if anybody's familiar, but my understanding is there are kettles in beer making too. So that's really interesting. I've never seen this type of kettle. Have you seen this type of kettle in rum making? Put a comment down below. Love to hear from everybody. So yeah, very, very cool. Now, as far as their aging, they primarily age in ex-bourbon, American oak, and next single malt sherry brandy barrels. This one specifically, the 2005, is really cool because they do age in 12 years, by the way, and it's set in single malt and finished just a couple in the kettle ones. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to look for the parameters for the GI real quick. Because believe it or not, there's a lot of countries that do it. And it's really interesting to know how they determine that. Because as we know, or maybe if you're not familiar, there's a little bit of interesting dynamics going on, especially in Barbados with the GI that they're trying to implement. It's very interesting what's going on there. If you have not heard of that, there's a couple companies that are trying to put the GI, other companies they're not so that are pro GI, but they want certain things removed from what they're trying to pass. So let me see here. Shoot, I can't find it now, of course. Let's see. I was hoping it was gonna be in this in the section of yeah, but beautiful book. It's, as you can see, it's like over 800 pages. Let me see here. And the great thing is that it talks about the history of rum and all the countries, which is amazing. And then it also talks about each distillery, like the big distilleries. Like I said, it talks about the standard on each one, like rum regulations. He has a whole section. Oh, here it is. So here is Venezuela. So as you can see, they have a GI and they have very specific regulations to be called a Venezuelan rum. So as far as the strength, they require a minimum of 37.4. Now, if you're not familiar, most of Europe requires a minimum of 40. As far as, let me see here. Oh, shoot, sorry, that was Dominican Republic. My mistake. They're right next to each other. So Venezuelan rum regulations are enshrined in two documents. One is the Covenant Rum Standard, which is the definition of rum sold in Venezuela or exported. Then the second one is the DOC. If you're familiar with the DOC or sounds familiar, is because you probably heard that DOC wording in a lot of like champagne or Italian wines like Prosecco. Like it's the um, denomination of controlled origin. So it allows producers to kind of hone into the fact that their spirit is made for from a specific region. In the case of champagne, like nothing else that has bubbles, if it's not from the Champagne region, can be called champagne. So it's those kinds of very strict restrictions, but it's very interesting because it means that it also allows these producers of those spirits to really profit on their very unique spirit. The other thing is that in Venezuela they have the DOC. So the first version was ratified in 2003, which I, before this book, was not familiar that there was a DOC for Venezuela. Did anybody else know? Can you put it on the comments down below? Because I wasn't familiar. I do enjoy. Hi, Jason. Yes, I'm live. We're doing a countdown to my official anniversary, December 5th. So popping open those very special bottles that I've been waiting for. So tonight I'm reviewing live the Diplomatico single vintage 2005. And then, hey, if you're a subscriber, you're automatically entered to get a sample of this. I'm also doing giveaways every single day because, as we all know, this economy sucks. And hey, let me be your early Santa baby, right? So the next thing that they talk about that's really interesting is the use of natural sweeteners such as fructose, sucralose, glucose, or others approved by the health authority is allowed. So even though it is a Venezuelan rum, they are allowed to add natural sweeteners, which is another very interesting thing, which is why this book is so crucial. So if you don't like rums with sweeteners or glucose or sucrose or those kinds of things, you might want to steer away from Venezuelan rums. But if you don't care and you're like me and the rum is good and you'll be drinking it all night, hey, have at it. Venezuelan rum is for you. The next thing is only caramel may be used as a colorant. So hey, they allow sugar and they allow caramel as a color as well, which is very surprising. I did not know that. Um, then they allow the aging. In sorry, the distillation of fermentation of sugar cane or its derivatives can be aged in oak containers, so they're flexible with that. And then to improve aroma, color, taste, the addition of caramel, fresh or dry fruit macerations, bark or maceration of oak chips, and other is also approved. So wow, they're really flexible with these Venezuelan rums. Also, rum must be matured in oak vessels for a time specified in the tax laws. Now, I'm definitely going to deep dive on this and figure this out. But these are the things that I really want to start deep diving into the next year. So if you're like me, that you're really nerd out on these things and you really want to know about these, I am in 2024 going to work on a huge series that I'm going to call Cane to Cup, where I want to deep dive on everything regarding rum. If you're a rum nerd like me, please put it on the comment down below. If you want to deep dive into like those simple or very complex subjects, let me know. I'd love to hear from everybody. I absolutely love getting to know these things. And like I said, this is a great book. It's the last day where he's offering the 10% off. Jason is saying that Diplomatico Reserva Exclusiva is a great rum, matches well with cigars. I agree. When I tried this at the Miami Rum Congress, all I could think is getting like a nice Maduro cigar for this. So I'm gonna pop it shortly. But then as far as characteristics, the rum to be called Venezuelan rum must comply with the following limits. It must be between 40 and 50 ABV. So that's different from what I read before. Sorry, I had DR and Venezuela right next to each other. So this is really good. If you like higher proof spirits, then Venezuelan rums are for you. So that's good to know. So if you ever see ron de Venezuela or Venezuelan rum, you know that you can be sure that they are going to stick to the proof on the higher side. So 80 proof, 40% ABV. And then there's only 12 designated areas that can be considered ron de Venezuela or rum from Venezuela, which is really, really cool. Now, the other thing that is really interesting here, it says is that the rum is made from sugarcane or its derivatives, which is interesting. And then it doesn't say anything about the aging specifically. Like, for example, when I went to Australia, I couldn't believe that you cannot call anything rum that's not aged at least 2 years. Here in the States, it's kind of like the Wild West. There's no limit on stuff, but it's really, really interesting to see these kinds of things. But basically, as you can see, there's 2 pages, and I don't want to bore you too much because I definitely want to open that rum. So those of you that win the sample can be prepared and be excited. But basically, this is just breaking down the regulations of Venezuela. As you can see, this is what I was reading before I was reading Dominican Republic. But basically, each country that has a designation does get 2 pages. So Venezuela gets this one and this one. So you have a lot of data here, which is really, really cool. So let's go ahead and pop this sucker. So day number 1. So 4 more left till December 5th. Super, super excited. Okay, everybody quiet. Oh, see this pop. Oh, that was a big one. Yay. Thank you for joining me. Crew members, thank you for your support this entire year. It's been an amazing experience. To those of you in this rum community, lots and lots of love and lots of rum. I'm so excited to share another year of rum and amazing things. Real cork, by the way. Oh, Jason is saying that it's zero sugar, non-GMO, fat-free. Yeah, basically not. It's not this type of rum. So I'm gonna pour this into a Glencairn. It actually looks really, really dark in here. Okay. So, how was everybody's week? Any big plans for the weekend? I'm looking forward to seeing all your beach pictures, Jason. If you don't follow him, he's a fellow pirate and rum reviewer. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button on his channel too. He does a lot of cruising too. So, if you want the inside scoop with what are the best cabins or what are the best cruise lines, definitely follow him. He also says some amazing rum. Oh, you're sailing to the West Indies this weekend? Wow, you have a fun weekend planned. Um, I'm obviously gonna be live tomorrow too, and for the next week until December 5th. And I will be giving away things. Now, I'm not only giving away rum, so make sure you tune in to the rest of the nights because I will be giving away some merch that from the local, like some of the distilleries that were so kind enough to send it. So I'm sharing my love with you and sharing some cool merch. But let's start with the snows. Oh, you see the color? It's like a deep amber. I know I picked the wrong glass. This one says Bardstown from when we went to the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. It smells amazing. The alcohol is still dissipating, so I'm gonna just swirl it around a little as we learned in Barbados. Ooh, awesome. You're securing Kingston 62. That's amazing. At Havana Club 7. Yeah, those are great rums. Sadly, we were going to get the Kingston 62, Jason, but it was sold out at the airport. Same with the stupid Captain Morgan that you and I have been so crazy looking for it. By the way, guys, Captain Morgan in Jamaica is completely different than Captain Morgan in America. It's made by Ray and Nephew, and it was phenomenal. It has the same labeling as Captain Morgan, but it's all yellow. Um, but unfortunately, a lot of the stuff at duty free was sold out. We were able to scoop. I'll show you the bottles. A couple more bottles, and one rum that we did try at the bar, which was really good. And it was a little bit on the pricier side, but we actually quite enjoy it. So if you see this rum, Jason, I think you'll also like it. It's the Royal Jamaican 15. It's actually made in Kingston, Jamaica. And it wasn't cheap. It was $68 compared to everything else at duty free, which, by the way, if anybody goes to Jamaica, score, 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 score in Jamaica's duty free. I think a lot of the bottles were in the 20s and 30s, even for stuff that we would pay like 60, 80, $100. They were so cheap. So this one was really nice. Sadly, the property that we were at, yeah, that was like a road trip, more like a plane trip to Jamaica. Yeah, this was really good. Unfortunately, the property that we stayed at didn't have a lot of Jamaican rums, but they had the Royal 15 and the Royal 12, and we absolutely loved the Royal 12. A lot of people, not a lot of people, I was doing Royal 12 and Royal 15 with ginger. Um, a lot of people were literally bringing their own rum, unfortunately, because the rums there, although they did have money musk, which is this rum. It's made by Long Pond. Don't um, ignore the size of the bottle. These were gifts from actually Long Pond. They were so nice when we went down there as a group. So this is a blend of um, Long Pond and yeah, Money Musk is the best. I agree, Jason. So I love doing the Money Musk with the ginger, or I would do at night, to get all fancy because we'd be dressed up. Oh, you got the last bottle of Total Wine. Good for you. Amazing rum. So it's a blend of Long Pond and Claremont rums in Jamaica. Amazing rum. Aged for 5 years in oak barrels. It's phenomenal. So let's go ahead with this news. I'm hoping the alcohol dissipated a little bit more because if not, it was going to singe my nose hairs. Oof. Now I am getting like a Coca-Cola smell, like a sweetness, like very, very sweet. Like it kind of smells like a Coca-Cola, like a real Coke is what I'm saying. I'm also getting a little bit of vanilla notes, which is interesting. I'm very interested to taste how the profile develops because they age it in single malt whiskey casks for a very long time. Oh, it's actually they age it in bourbon single malt whiskey for 12 years. So, yeah, drink like a pirate. Exactly. That's what you do, Jason. Yeah. And then they finish a year in Spanish sherry casks. Now, let's try this. Cheers, everybody. Oh, that is amazing. There's a little bit of a hug. This is at 43%, or double that is the proof. So a little over 80 proof. A little bit of a hug, but it's quite sweet. It's a quite sweet. And again, my palate has evolved. So a lot of these rums, when I originally tried them, they didn't feel as sweet as they do now. But because I'm getting into like a lot of the overproof stuff, it's made me more sensitive to sweetness and coloring. I have to admit. So remember, with Venezuelan rums, you have the potential of getting sugar and caramel color. It is authorized by the health department, so they do allow to add these things. The only thing they say is that they require a certain aging for the casks, and it's based on the proof. Hey, Phil. I'm having the Diplomatico single vintage 2005. Hug on the scale of worm or like you swallowed a scorpion. No, no scorpions. I'd say like a small hug on the chesticles. A small hug on the chesticles. But you can tell it's really sweet. It literally smells like, you know what? It's like it's the nose is as sweet as root beer. So you get those caramels, like root beer vibes. But I don't know. I actually do enjoy this. Wow. And and it's getting better. I'm glad I waited a little bit, even though I was so excited to try it. I'm glad I waited a little because now I'm able to enjoy the nose a lot more for sure. Wow. But yeah, if you're into sweeter rums with a little bit higher proof, this is definitely the rum for you. Like I mentioned, they do allow, per the DOC, they do allow sugars and caramel coloring on this, but I actually quite enjoy it. So, as you can see, you see these lanky legs. Those might not be true legs, but it is a 12-year-old rum, so it might be a combo. So both coloring, sugar, and 12 years. I would expect like some lanky or lengthy legs, which we can see in this. And Karen, as you can see, it's still dipping. I'm starting to notice when rums don't have additives, keyword, this is my personal opinion. I noticed that when it's truly aged with no additives, you get a little bit of beating on the top and then the legs start to form. With things that are color or sugar added, the legs, if you lightly swirl it, it's it immediately starts dripping because I'm assuming it's like a thicker rum. Another thing, on my palate, it feels very thick. It feels, I know, Phil, you don't like sugars, you don't like none of that because you're a stickler for these things, but you should come and try this and let the people know what you think. It's pretty good. Like I said, I typically don't like Diplomatico, but I really enjoyed this. So wanted to buy it. I thought for the age, like 12 years, I don't think it was too bad at $110. I did buy it quite a while ago, so the price might have gone on up if you find the vintage 2005. So what's everybody's price point as far as aging? You guys want to put on the comment down below, or what's your limit? We were talking with a couple of rum enthusiasts on Wednesday. Shout out to Kim and Colby, our new rum friends from Jamaica, that basically our price point really kind of tops off at like 200, 250, but it has to be something like very unique. I personally feel that I wouldn't.
Medicine on the nose. Come on.
Oh, he's like medicine.
The cough drop. Or
Cough drop.
not cough drop, cough syrup.
Cough syrup. Oh, Jason is saying that he's like, Felipe, I bought a whiskey today from India. He's like, let's do a review.
Tastes like cough syrup.
Oh, he's like, it tastes like cough syrup. Okay, so I do approve this rum. I did enjoy it. Phil did not, but just remember that everybody's palate is different. Um oh, he's saying that the whiskey from India has no sugar. Yes, guys. Oh my God. If you are not familiar with spirits from India, India is blowing up, specifically in rum. I didn't know this until about maybe like a couple months ago. India has the most amount of sugarcane in the world, which is freaking crazy. Um, which is crazy, but I tried the Chemicara. If you see it on the shelves, the 12-year, it's chef's kiss. Phenomenal. Treasure chest approved? I don't think so, Sean. You want to see what's in my treasure chest, and I'll let you know why. So, like I said, my palate has evolved so much right now that to me, this is a little bit on the sweeter side. I don't think I can really sip this all the time. It's very heavy on the palate. It feels very thick and like kind of like when you have too many sweets, like you're like, it doesn't. It's one of these rums that doesn't have me craving more and more and more. Um, so as far as this specific rum, I would say it's not treasure chest approved because I'll tell you what I have. I'll show you what I have right now in my treasure chest. So I try to have like a nice balance of everything. I want to keep it something that I really, really enjoy. And I really enjoy agricole rums, but they're not for everybody. And that's the way I always think too. I'm like, if somebody comes and visits me, like you, Sean, if you come and visit me, I want you to open up that treasure chest and be like, oh my God, those look like amazing rums. So, rum agricoles, we've all seen them, we've all tried them, but they this one is really unique because you guys know I love vanilla. And this Clement is an extra vanilla e rum, if that makes any sense. Now, why I love this bottle so much is because it is a very unique rum agricole. It was um aged in 2002 and it was barreled in 2018, which is incredible. Now, as far as if you're not familiar with Clement, they're very, very well known for their rum agricoles. And the great thing is that it even has the master distiller here. Everything's in French. This is made in Martinique. So when I go to Martinique, let me tell you that this is my cherished distillery that I want to go see. Just like when I went to Jamaica, the distillery that I wanted to definitely go see. Oh, Jason's saying the French rums just started my cup of rum. However, they have a big following. Shad, see, we're vanilla friends for life. I love vanilla too, but I like rums that are like natural flavors because of the charring level on vanilla. If you're not familiar with that, definitely look into that because the charring level in the oak will give you a heavier or softer vanilla feel. So keep an eye out for that. I learned that when I went to the Bourbon Trail in Kentucky, which was really interesting because a lot of the rums are aged in ex-bourbon casks. So it was interesting for me to see like, oh, okay, these companies chart at this level. And this is the level where you get a lot of vanilla notes. So now I know when companies say, oh, it's aged in this bourbon or this ex-bourbon barrel, now I know that that rum is going to take on those vanilla notes as well because it's being aged in that, right? So it's really interesting. So I have this, which is very unique. By the way, this was aged in 2002, bottled in 2018, so it's pretty old rum. The other thing that's very interesting is that this is a smaller bottle of rum. I know it doesn't seem like it, but it's not 200, it's not 750, okay? So you're getting a smaller bottle, but it's the quality over quantity thing, but very, very cool. So this is my favorite rum agricole until I can find a better one. This will be in my treasure chest forever and ever. Yes, Phil, it is a nice bottle. Thank you. He got this. I think it was for my birthday or Christmas. I don't remember. Can you please tell me? And then wait, I wanted to add something flavored because I'm not judgmental. So the next bottle I have is something again very unique. Um, this is the cut and dry. Now, most of Americans have probably not seen this bottle. I know it's roaming around our neck of the woods in Florida because I know a lot of people from Barbados have been bringing these bottles. This is a plantation product. And let me tell you, I personally never liked coconut flavored rums. Why? Because to me, it tasted like I'm making out with a sunscreen bottle or a suntan lotion, which I absolutely hate. I'd say probably 90% of the times when I try coconut rums, it's like, ugh, so heavy, so sweet. I don't like them at all. But this one, it's incredible. They basically scrape the inside of the coconut. Now, this is a very small plantation of these types of coconuts. They're not the ones that we see here, those big green ones that turn maybe a little bit brown. These are the small, furry brown ones. Now, it's a very small plantation in Barbados that you take this rum from. And it basically they toast the inside of that coconut. And once the rum is distilled, they steep it in like a tea. So it's like a rum coconut tea, which is very, very cool. Now, you will see some sediment in here. But it's from the beautiful coconut because they use real coconut to flavor this. This is infused. Sorry, I'm trying to look for the proof because it's hot. It's 80 proof, 40 40 alcohol by volume. And let me see. Oh, they use 1 coconut per liter of rum, which is quite challenging, which is the reason why if you ever see this at the airport, definitely get it. Super cheap too, by the way, not expensive at all. But we did raid the airport. We got 4 bottles. We got lucky, and we're pretty much down to this one, and then a little bit more of the other one because we brought it. It's funny. It says local legend in the 16th century, seafarers discovered the region's native fruit, the coconut, and were transfixed by the 3 eyes peering out of the hairy bark. So apparently these coconuts have 3 eyes. Um, it says an eerie reminder of old tales. As the fearsome but probably non-existent creature, it has been characterized as the equivalent of the boogeyman. Oh my god, this is so crazy. I had never read this, by the way. And so the legend was born. Half man, half coconut. Who peppered our rum tails? I love this. This is so super cool. But this is a product from Barbados. Amazing. So I have this as my flavored portion of my rum in the treasure chest. And then number 3 was a recent addition, which I hope you saw the review because that one was the most recent treasure chest approval. Now, if you're not familiar with this rum, incredible rum from Brugal. Yes, they're doing something so freaking unique. By the way, this rum, what they do is they push the proof up, which, as we just heard, Dominican Republic doesn't require not even 40%. They're below 40% for their requirement. This one, they push to 45. 45% ABV, 90 proof. So, woo, those chesticles, they're going to be struggling for a little bit, especially on the first sip. But for the rest, it's such a smooth, enjoyable rum. Why? Apparently, they age the rum. And then, sorry, Jason, I missed yours. I agree, coconut tastes like sunscreen. No, they don't age it in cognac. Cognac barrels. I don't know. Let me double check. Now you're making me think. Hold on. I think I'm going to take another sip of the Diplomatico one. Cheers. Um, it actually doesn't say what they age it in, but we have a really good relationship with Plantation, so I'm definitely gonna send them a message and see if they can give me some info on how this is aged, and I will get back to you, Jason. So regarding this Brugal, This is Colección Visionaria, which is edition number 1. So I'm assuming they're going to bring out a couple of editions. The very unique thing about this rum is that they age in virgin oak barrels, which they char with cocoa beans. So you get a quite heavy um, dark chocolate note on this one. I absolutely love this rum. This is my newest addition. So, Sean, to answer your question, no additives, no sugar, unique aging, unique notes. Gorgeous bottle too. This came in the box too. Not as fancy as the Diplomatico, but I enjoy this a lot more. So I try to always keep a Spanish style rum in my treasure chest, and um I'm sorry, I just can't replace this one for this Diplomatico one because it's so sweet. It's a little bit heavier on the palate, and I don't know. Sorry, Jason. Plantation sends most of their rums to age in cognac barrels in France. Let me know what you find out. Yes, they do, but they do some very unique, crazy stuff in France. They don't just age in ex cognac barrels. So definitely check out all their collections because they all tend to be a little bit different. But I'll tell you what I found out. So that's my fourth rum on the in my treasure chest. So no, not treasure chest approving this one, but don't forget to comment down below to enter for the giveaway of the sample. Again, I haven't checked my bottles, but I think it might be like a 4-ounce sampler that I'll send the winner. And then the very last bottle that I have in my treasure chest, it is something that I consider really special. And by the way, this was before I went to Australia. It's the Transcontinental Rum Line, Australia 2013. The distillery is Bentley, and this was distilled in Australia in 2013 and then bottled in France in 2020. So it was aged 4 years in an oak cask. Oh, awesome. You tried this. What did you think of this, Jason? Jason is saying, the River Pirate is saying that he tried this at Boat Drinks. So it's aged for 4 years in an oak cask and then 2 years in Europe in oak cask. It was a hug. It was a hug. Okay. Yeah, this is 48% alcohol by volume. So double that, and that is the proof. But the weird thing is I thought this was from Bentley Distillery. If you're not familiar with them, they're the oldest running distillery in Australia, as far as I know, and I thought this was their juice. This one specifically is aged in ex cognac barrels when it goes to Europe, which this is good to know. And this was a pot still small batch finished in French oak. And by the way, it says that this is imported by La Maison Evelier, which I've been doing a crazy deep dive. So remember, in 2024, I am going to do a new series called King to Cup, where I'm going to deep dive in those really interesting details, history, distillation styles, fermentation styles, because I want to know more. Like, I'm a master sommelier and I feel like I still have so much more to learn, especially when I go to the distilleries. I feel like I don't know shit. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on that new series. So this is the last one. So I'm not going to treasure trust to prove it, but definitely enjoying this Diplomatico. I'd say for $110, is it worth it? Yes, because it's the best Diplomatico that I've tried. Hey, rough spirits, thanks for tuning in. Counting down to my official anniversary, December 5th, I'm doing a giveaway of this Diplomatico vintage 2005, a sample of this. So automatically, if you're a subscriber, you're automatically entered. But yeah, everybody, that's it for today. How's everybody doing? Everybody drinking? What does everybody think? I personally, like I said, let me tell you, definitely tune in to the next 4 days. It's only 4 days that you get to hang out with me, and we're doing a live, and I'm gonna do live reviews. So today we did the Diplomatico 2005. Tomorrow we're doing something a little bit different, maybe a little rum agricole-ish. Let me know if you like some rum agricoles. But this is good, but not treasure chest approved in my opinion. Not a huge fan of Diplomatico. I would say that for $110, I would pay it again. I do have to say I would pay it again because it's really, it's like the high end product of Diplomatico. But I wouldn't buy any of their basic rums, in my opinion. Again, as a reminder, if you didn't tune in before, Venezuela has very strict regulations of what can be considered ron de Venezuela or rum from Venezuela. Oh, awesome! Yes, rough spirits. Yeah, it is. And by the way, I'm not a big fan of Eclipse, but I actually do have a bottle as well. So cheers, cheers, cheers. Hope you're enjoying that. I'm not a big fan of their Eclipse. I'm a huge fan of Mount Gay and their spirits, but I'm not a huge fan of the regular Eclipse. But if you do see this, this is the Navy Strength limited edition. It is phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. Thanks, Rough Spirits. Yes, this is the OG pirate hat. Sometimes you'll see me switching it up a little bit. Got to keep you guys on your toes, making sure you're watching. It is a must buy, yes. I think here in Florida we paid just $30 for it. Incredible. This one is a little bit on the hotter side, so watch out for those chesticles because this is a 57.1 alcohol by volume, and this is an incredible rum. So this is one of their new releases that they recently put out. But thank you so much, guys. Got the last sip of this. Everybody have an amazing weekend. Make sure you tune in tomorrow so you don't miss out on the next giveaway. Like I said, I'll be giving away samples and some really cool merch from distilleries that they were so kind to send. So definitely tune in tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Cheers, and thank you to all the subscribers, aka my favorite crew members. I'm so, so, so grateful for each and every one of you for all your support and all your love. And once again, to all my friends in the rum community, I look forward to all the rums we're gonna drink in 2024. So freaking excited! Cheers, everyone. Good night.